From the previous video, what we had was we set these things up. Let me show the diagram. We completed our engine project. We set up everything. We set up the DLL export and DLL import, all the things by using this lovely little macro right here, which by the way I should have put this in the source folder up, so let me just do that right now. I put it in the global folder. It should be in the source folder, so if I can do it, that is, let me just put it over here. Okay, cool. Okay, now it's in the source folder with all of our files. Okay, nice. All right, now that's it. So our engine is done. Now let's take a look over how we can actually make our app, our project for our app, which is going to make use of our engine. Okay, let's do it. So first thing we'll do in the solution, we'll right click, add, we'll add a new project. We'll do an empty project. We'll call it don't change anything. We'll still keep it inside the our engine solution, of course. We'll call it something like Sandbox or something, Sandbox app or something like that. I'll just call it Sandbox for now. Just call it Sandbox. I'll create. It's gonna create a brand new project for me. I'll click the show all files button. I'll add a new source folder for all the files. And right now, before we had this, we had the main function right in our engine, which is, of course, we don't want that because the main function should be controlled by our applications. Okay, so what I'll do is, for now, I'll just copy this main function and I'll paste this somewhere. Okay, for now I'll just paste it in my notepad and I'll just get rid of it. I'll right click, remove. All right, oops, I should yeah, delete. Okay, now here I'll add a main function instead. So add new file. I'll do main.cpp and we have it here. So again, main.cpp. Now what I'll do is I'll copy this, paste it here, and bam. Of course we're gonna get a bunch of errors because we haven't set up all the include paths and so on. Okay, let's do that. Let's set up the include path. So I'll do right click, properties, all configurations, all platforms, of course. I'll make sure the configuration type is application because we do want this sandbox to be built as an application. Go over C++, general. So this here, so additional include directories. Now what we want is we want to include everything from this engine. Okay, we include all the header files from this engine. So what we'll do is we'll just we'll add a new directory to include. This is going to be relative to our solution directory as always, and inside the engine folder. Okay, I'll also have to add a backslash here. I'll click OK, apply OK. See, now of course I'll have to copy this source everywhere. Copy, I'll add source here. Oops, source, and bam. Okay, source, and awesome. All right, that's how it works. That's how it goes. So take a look at the include. We can do include, and we can include everything from the engine folder from here. We can go through. We can just yeah, we can include from graphics. We can include from maths. Yeah, so we can go to source here. We can include from graphics, maths, shaders, and code.edge of course, and stuff like this. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it. All right, awesome. With that being said, that's just our first step. The second step, the main step, is actually linking. Okay, we have to link the sandbox because right now all we have got is the function definitions. Okay, we don't the linker doesn't know where the functions are. So if we remember from the previous video, what we did was we outputted a DLL file. So every time we build the engine, it will output a DLL and a lib file. Okay, so the DLL, we'll take care of the DLL later on, but to link with the lib file, all we have to do is right click on Sandbox, add, and reference. And I just love it because of this Visual Studio. It's pretty simple. All I have to do is right click, add a reference, click on this engine, and hit OK. Okay, so now what this is going to do is if you remember the lib file, let me go to the open folder, file explorer. Go back one, bin, debug, engine. So this is actually going to link with the lib file. Okay, now we do need the DLL file, and I'll tell you later on what we're going to do with the DLL file. Okay, okay. Now for some reason our thing is not detecting the namespace for some reason. I think it's up with the maths. So let's see what's the error is. Cannot open glue.h. Of course, so you cannot open glue because cannot open core.h. I believe it's because yeah, of course we need to since we changed the location of the core, we have to do source / core, I believe. Yep. Awesome. Let's go to main.cpp. We still have the errors for some reason. Let me include core.h as well. Include source and core.h here, and this should vertex array is undefined. Okay, it's cannot find our vertex array, and the reason for that is we of course haven't like included everything from here, which we'll do right now. So we'll include include source, graphics, data buffers, vertex array, and hopefully the error should go away. It does not, which is great. Vertex array, vertex buffer. Well, we included it twice. Is undefined because even though we included this, still cannot find it for some reason. Include graphics. Look at the vertex array.h. Oh yeah, it's kind of messed up with the glue.h for some reason. Cannot open source file gl/glue.h. Okay. What could be the reason? Glue.h cannot found. What the hell is wrong with this now? Now do source / core.h everywhere. Source / core.h. Source. Where to put source / core.h? Well, we'll basically have to do it everywhere. So I might as well just do it now. To add this thing everywhere now. Here and here. Okay, on util.h as well, of course, and that's it. Okay, now if you go to main.cpp, you will still get these errors, of course. What could the reason be? Well, if you take a look here, of course the files from the main thing are okay, so they are working well. And the reason I believe these are not working well is let me check vertex array, core.h, index buffer is working fine, vertex array is working fine. For some reason it's giving us the IntelliSense error. Let me just build and see what happens. Speed, it tries to build everything. So it does find the files, so it does create the CPP, and it of course fails because it cannot open glue.h. Okay, so we'll have to basically we'll have to make a way to open glue.h. And the reason for that is, the reason for why we cannot open it is because of course we haven't linked OpenGL, we haven't linked glfw here. Okay, so we haven't linked glfw and glue here, so I'll do that right now and I'll be back. Okay, so I have linked glfw and set up the correct preprocessor definitions. Like for example, in core.h we defined for build.exe we must define it. The reason why we were getting those red errors in the main.cpp is because we hadn't defined the in our preprocessor build.exe. So now we have defined build.exe, which means the core.h can actually replace the i2d with dll spec dll import. And if you guys want a bit of clarification, if I copy this and paste it right here, you'll see that now this will be a bit dark and this will be a bit bright, which means that this is the one that's active and we'll start importing files from our DLL. Okay, cool. That's really cool. Awesome. That's this. Now this should work now. So I've linked GLFW. I've linked everything. I have added the correct header files. I've done everything. So naturally, and I've linked as well. So if I show you again, oh my god, what did I do there? Nope. to right click, add, I go to add a reference. So you can see I have linked with the engine.lib file. Basically I've done everything, which means hopefully if I hit run, the engine should work, right? Of course not, because remember, like I said before, I had told you guys we'll do something with the DLL. The DLL file is extremely important because all of our function definitions from the graphics like these, like the shader.cpp, the CPP files, the actual definitions of the functions are all inside the DLL, and the project cannot find the DLL file. So what we have to do basically is copy this DLL file, go back and just go one step back, go to bin, go to Win32, and let me just build this first, build the project, so that we actually get this. So bin, Win32, engine. We only get engine. Why could it be? Of course, because we had the sandbox debug here. Well, I'll have to get rid of this quickly. I'll have to get rid of the debug file folder, external sandbox debug. It's creating debug folder everywhere. Okay, I'll have to set the directory file as well. So let me do that as well. So go to engine, go to general, so copy the output directory, go to sandbox, paste it here, click apply, go to engine again, copy this again, go to sandbox, paste it here, apply, okay, build the file again. Hopefully everything's gonna be built properly, build succeeded, build up to date. Now the files should be in our respective folders, okay, in the debug, at the bin debug folder. Cool. So if we go sandbox, I'll just paste the DLL file right here. Of course I'll copy it, I think I did. I'll do it again. Sandbox, paste it here. Now we have the DLL file in the directory of the CPP file. Now if you try to run the code, okay, still says we cannot find DLL. So let me just clean the solution, and let me build the solution again. So build the solution. It's going to create a, okay, it hasn't created anything yet. We're going to wait for it to build. Okay, now it has created all the DLLs, all the sandbox, and we still have the same DLL here. Now let's try to run it. Okay, still says you cannot find DLL. Okay, it's not a valid, engine.dll is not a valid without the application. Alright, so the reason is that we have to we have to set as startup project in our sandbox, because it was trying to run this it was trying to run the engine project, but we want to run the sandbox project, of course. So let's just do that, rest on the code, and bam, we see the triangle. Now we are also of course getting some errors, vertex shader, fragment shaders, just because here we of course have to get, let's just do it right now. I'm not patient enough. Let's just bring this in the source file here. Shaders, I'll just literally delete it, permanent delete it, permanent delete shader. Okay, delete. Oh, what did I did here? Delete. Okay, for some reason it's not doing, but we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that later. Okay, so vertex shader, fragment shader. Let me go to the shaders file. So main.cpp, it's source shaders, vertex shader. Now of course we want to get this from this shader, so we'll get rid of this. So shader slash vertex slash fragment shader. Okay, of course we hadn't put it on the include directory. I forgot to do that right now, but it should be relative to the project, so we'll of course have to do source slash shaders from here. Okay, it should be relative to our project, right? Run the code now, and there we go. We have our beautiful yellow triangle. Awesome. You love to see that. So that's basically it. We have made our own file here, our sandbox, and we have the engine.dll for some reason. I'll just keep it right here. It's cool to see. We have successfully linked the DLL and the lib. Now there's still some issue, like as you guys saw, like every time we build, like every time we modify the code of our engine and build it, it gives us a new DLL, which means that every single time we'll have to copy the DLL from the engine folder and paste it into the sandbox folder, which is a headache. We don't want to do that, so let me just delete it right now. We don't want to do that. So there's actually a macro. There's a macro. It's not a macro. It's a setting. Okay. So sorry for that. It's a setting. Like if you just go to your sandbox, click on properties. If you go to this build events, you can make Visual Studio do something before you build the actual project in the pre-build event. So what I want to do is before this builds, I want to copy that DLL from the engine to the sandbox, right? Because remember, before sandbox builds, Visual Studio will automatically build the engine first, and then it will build the sandbox. Why? Because in the sandbox we had added the reference. We had added the reference for the engine, which means that we have said Visual Studio that sandbox now depends on engine, and Visual Studio will automatically build engine first whenever we try to build sandbox. All right. So once that's out of the way, we can go to pre-build event. There's a really simple copy function. We can just copy a file. So it's from the solution directory. We can go something like I believe it's here. So solution directory, bin, debug, the platform thing from the engine. So I think I have this in general. I'll literally copy this out to directory here. A pre-build event. Paste it here. So bin configuration platform. Of course, I'll have to copy this from the engine folder, and I'll have to copy the folder called copy the file called engine.dll. So it's in the debug 32 engine folder, engine.dll. I want to copy it, and then so the first directory is the copying directory, where you want to copy from, and the second one is where you want to paste. So of course we want to paste it to debug, of course, the sandbox, and the sandbox basically in the sandbox directory. So I'll paste it again here. Solution directory, configuration, project name, of course this is the project name now, and yeah, that's what it is. I just want to paste it right here. So you click apply, make sure you're on all configurations and all platforms, hit OK. Let me check that once again. Yep, I hope it's working fine. Let's remember, even though we have deleted the DLL file, we should hopefully, fingers crossed, we should get it back there. Okay, see, you can see something like one file is copied. Check it, boom, there's our DLL. Okay, we don't have to do anything at all. Now we run the code, our code runs flawlessly. Okay, awesome. That's pretty much it. We have set up our thing here, our engine. Now before I do that, I think, like, I don't want to write all these includes here because they're really kind of messy. I'll probably do, yeah, I'll make a new folder under source. I'll add a new item. I'll call it the engine. I'll make a header file, engine.h, and from here what I'll do is I'll go to main.cpp. Oh my god, we have a lot of files. I'll literally just copy it. So not copy, I'll just cut it. I'll paste it in the engine. Okay, all of these in the engine. I get utilities here, paste these in the engine, and what I'll do is I'll get rid of the IO stream. We don't need it. And then what I'll do is I'll basically include this engine.h, so it's a lot more cleaner. So I'll do include. I can do engine into source, I believe, engine.h. Oops, yeah, engine.h. Okay, I can do this like this. It's pretty easy, but I don't want to do this source, so I'll probably put this engine. I can really put. Let me see. Let me go to open folder, file explorer. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Yeah. I'll just put the engine right here. Okay, source / engine.h. Cool. Let's run the code, test it again. Hopefully it works. Of course it's gonna work, but it's our code, and bam, it works flawlessly. We have probably done the most time hassle kind of thing, because it actually takes a lot of time to set this up, and it took us like around 3 videos, I believe. Yep, in 3 videos we have set this stuff, which is really great. Which means that now we can actually get into doing stuff. For now, actually, to be honest, I'll just get rid of all of these. I'll even get rid of the shader. I just don't want it. Yeah, I'll just get rid of every single thing here except the window. So I'll keep the window. I'll keep printing the frames, and I'll get rid of the util thing. I'll get rid of the namespaces, of course, except this. I need the graphics for the window, and I'll just get rid of thing here. Okay. Visual Studio giving error for some reason, of course, because I deleted the using namespace illust2. Okay, of course we need that for all of our window. Okay, on the code again, the code is that we just get an empty lovely little window. Okay, awesome. I'll probably just make it a bit I'll probably make it to here, I believe. Yep, it looks good. Okay, lovely little gray window, everything works well. I'll make this a bit cleaner. I will damn, it's such a mess. Working with to be honest guys, working with C++, especially in a big project, is actually such a mess, because you have all these pointers, all these memory addresses hopping from one file to another, or he's like, what does this do, this, oh my gosh, but it's fun, that's why I do it, okay, cool. I'm actually really excited. We have now our sandbox where we can test all of our engines. We can just add new files to the engine, we can modify the engine, and all we want to do to test it is we have this main.cvp in our Sandbox Pro project, and we can just modify here, do stuff here, change the engine, add new features to the engine here, add new features here, close this, and just go back to our sandbox and just test it here. Okay, pretty awesome. In the next video, this is probably going to be a stream, not a video, so in the next stream we're probably going to be maintaining the code, because right now I want to like change the names of some function, and especially the util class. I really want to change it. For example, this right here, this does not deserve to be called util, it's just a clock. This is more like a class clock. So there's some things I want to add, some things I want to get rid of. I'll probably do it in the upcoming stream that I'll probably be streaming tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I don't really know, so I'll have to wait and find out. That's pretty much it. Let me run the code again. I just love it so much. Okay, cool, that's pretty much it. We have done quite a bit of stuff here. Yep, just stay tuned for the next stream where we'll finally get into doing some coding, because we finally gotten the hang of all these housekeeping stuff. Okay, cool.